Hi everyone and welcome to Val Talks Pets, the forum for pet parents and enthusiasts alike. Having been in the pet industry for almost 10 years now, I am going to share with you issues and questions that arise as I work with pet parents on a day-to-day basis. I'm not a veterinarian, but I do have certifications in canine, feline, small animal, fish and reptile, and avian health and nutrition from the University of California, Davis Extension. Hello and welcome to this episode of Val Talks Pets. This episode is all about how to become a pet parent and how to avoid some of the pitfalls. It always interests me how people acquire their pets. The stories range widely from some that break your heart to some that, to be honest, have me shake my head. As for me, I've had a few dogs in my time. The very first dog in my family growing up was already a member of the household when I was born. My father found a stray dog running down the middle of the road in our neighborhood and scooped her up. She was your typical mutt. She sort of looked a bit like a corgi, maybe a bit shepherd, but who knows. What a patient, wonderful dog she was. She died when I was 11. I've also had 2 purebred dogs, Canadian Kennel Club registered. One was a Samoyed and one was a Rottweiler. I had it in my head that I was going to show the Samoyed. I never did. It was a lofty teenage idea. My Rottie was an amazing well-bred Rottweiler, and when I got him, Rottweilers were not that well known and were almost exclusively being used in police and protection work. I've also had 2 Border Collies that were acquired by first dog-sitting them as their owners went overseas, and then being asked to keep them. And as I have mentioned in one of my other podcasts, my present Husky Shepherd was a rescue from a Northern Ontario First Nations community. So basically, just like most people, I have acquired my dogs over the years in several different ways. I've purchased from a reputable breeder, I've been the rehoming home, had a stray, and adopted through a humane society. As for cats, all of them but one have been a stray. One of my cats that I have now, I got through a barn cat that had kittens, and I said I would take one. He is the most hilarious cat I have ever had. Stray or not, they all have individual personalities. So let's explore some of the ways to get a pet, choose a pet, and how to watch out for the scams that are floating around. And there are. Let's begin with purebred dogs. Purebred dogs are dogs of a specific breed. 2 registered purebreds of the same breed are bred. The breed's physical description and temperament is what is being perpetuated. Generations of that particular pair will have been recorded, screened, and selected so that only the healthiest and the best example of the breed will produce future puppies. The only way to guarantee that you have an actual purebred is to have what is called papers for the dog. Papers are a way of identifying that the dog has come from a registered breeder with the governing Purebred Dog Association for your country. In Canada, it is the Canadian Kennel Club. In the US, it is the AKC, American Kennel Club. In the UK, there is the Kennel Club that handles breed pedigree registrations. In Australia, there is the Australian National Kennel Council. So each country will have its registration body, and what that registration entails and the guidelines will also vary. Breeders that are registered have to adhere to the guidelines for the breed, and with this, often specific testing and proof of has to be submitted. There is a standard of excellence that breeders uphold, and breeders and breed clubs work hard to uphold high standards for the breeds. One of the breeders I know will often spend an entire day at the University of Guelph Veterinarian College in Ontario, Canada, having a new litter tested for hips, eyes, etc. The health status in these areas are important for her for future breeding, and to have those certificates as a reputable CKC breeder and for her future pet parents that will come to her for a quality pup of the breed she has. Many breeders also show their dogs. Many have their top dogs working towards higher levels in the show world for demonstration of the breed at its best, as this contributes to the breed's standards and future preservation. The benefit to getting a purebred dog is to know that the traits and look of the dog will be what you are looking for. Now, cost in this case will be significant if you wish to get a purebred. And with all the cost involved to adhere to the guidelines, there is a reason for this cost. Now, let's look at some of the pitfalls. Certain breeds of dogs have their day in the sun with popularity for different reasons. Labradors and golden retrievers are always a favorite. But just put out a movie with a specific breed, and all of a sudden, there is an explosion of popularity of that breed. 101 Dalmatians did no favors for the Dalmatian breed. Dalmatians are a dog that an experienced dog owner should take on. They are wonderful dogs, but you need to know what you are doing with regards to training and nutrition. But everyone had to have their own pongo, and then what happened next was a glut of Dalmatians at shelters and with Dalmatian rescue fosters. The Obamas got a Portuguese water dog. Next thing you know, the demand for Portuguese water dogs went up exponentially. How many of those people had even heard of a Portuguese water dog before the Obamas got one? The questions then remains, did they do their homework to understand the breed, or did they just want one because the president had one? This happens a lot. For a while there, everyone was getting a Bernese Mountain Dog. Then there was the rise in Rottweilers, and then German Shepherds went into the rotation again. Oh, and Wheaten Terriers. It's the dog du jour. But as with any specific type of dog, you need to do a lot of research about the breed and the breeders. When I decided I wanted a Samoyed, I went to as many dog shows as I could and spoke to the Samoyed group who were breeders and showers. I read information and did a lot of calling to the different breeders asking questions. When I decided I wanted a Rottweiler, believe me, the research of that breed and the breeders was tantamount. I knew that a badly bred Rottweiler could be a very serious liability, so I made sure I did the research to know that the breeder that I decided to go with had the breed's best interest at the forefront. And one of the best things is that this breeder wanted to interview me before deciding that I would provide the proper environment for one of her puppies. That, to me, was top-notch. Now, this brings me to a real issue that we need to explore. There are the upstanding registered breeders. Then there are people who breed a certain breed but are not registered. I hear this conversation quite frequently. We just got a new puppy. Oh, how wonderful. What kind of dog did you get? We got a German Shepherd. Lovely. Where did you get her? Oh, there is a breeder up in X. Ah, so she's a purebred. Oh, yes. And have you got her papers yet? Oh, no, there is no papers. The dogs are purebreds, but they're not registered. Does anyone have the same question going through their head as I do when I hear this? Isn't the next question, then how do you know it's a purebred? And the next question is, what did you pay for this puppy? Now, we know the cost of purebreds varies all over the world. But let's just take a dollar value scenario here. If a purebred registered shepherd costs around $1,500, would you pay the same for a dog that is not registered and has had no advanced testing for health and conformation? For me, the answer is absolutely not. And this is my opinion. But as far as I'm concerned, if someone says they are selling purebreds, I want that confirmation. I want the proof. If you don't have it, I will pay you the rate I would pay for a dog at the SPCA shelter, $400. Why would I pay the same amount to someone selling puppies of a breed that has no proof to substantiate the price they are asking? As I said earlier, registered breeders have a lot of cost involved to provide the consumer with quality, healthy dogs. This means that a cost to the consumer is involved, and I don't have a problem with that if I get all the certificates and registration that goes with it. These breeders that do not register are often called backyard breeders, and I know that sounds rather derogatory. And some people do have a registered purebred, and for the sake of one litter or a small operation, having puppies once a year, they do not go through with registration, etc. That's fine, as long as they are not expecting to charge the same rate as a registered dog. But the scenario becomes rather seedy and diabolical when there is a rise in a breed's popularity, as with the Dalmatians and Portuguese water dogs, where poor backyard breeders spring up like crazy just to cash in on the craze. They charge whatever they can get, and there is no registration, no health certificates, and no way to trace where these dogs have come from. And because some people, out of lack of knowledge, poor judgment, or just having to be a part of the craze, pay these crazy amounts, these charlatans get your money and taint the breed. So this segues into a way people get dogs and puppies other than contacting a registered breeder, and that is through online methods. Now, we will often go online to find the registered breeders and also to find who is selling puppies, either a specific breed, crossbreeds, or mutts. By all means, find your registered breeders here. But for any others, research. Buyer beware. If you decide to go this route, you must be very thorough, very skeptical, extremely picky, full of questions, and guarded to not get ripped off. There are legitimate people selling puppies, but you need to make sure you are finding those people. There are red flags that many people ignore. So let's make sure you know what these are. So say you are looking for a medium dog. Doesn't have to be a purebred, just a nice medium-sized dog that will be good with the kids and doesn't have any of the characteristics from breeds that are aggressive. Sounds easy enough. You go online and you start researching. You find someone in a rural area who is selling border collie crosses. First question, what is the border collie crossed with? Remember, you didn't want any aggressive breeds, so find out what the other breed or breeds is. Next question to ask is whether the person owns both the mother and the father. If not, which one do they own? And how did they come to be in the position of selling puppies? Ask how many males and females they have, and you should know what your preference is. Remember your budget, as spaying costs more than neutering, so something to keep in mind. If there isn't a good answer to any of your questions so far, red flag. What you are trying to ascertain here is whether this is a backyard puppy mill. Is this a nice family that has decided to let their dog have one litter? What's the story? Why do they have an unfixed dog or dogs? Ask if it would be okay to come see the pups, and can you see the parents, or, at very least, the parent they own? If not, why not? Red flag. Okay, so say things seem on the up and up, and you decide to go see the pups. Make it clear to this person you are coming to see the pups only. There is no obligation on your part to go home with one of the pups. So you drive out to the property where the pups are, and the first thing you do is assess the surroundings. Are there a bunch of adult dogs running loose? Can you see kennels? Are they clean and well built? If not, perhaps the puppies are inside. If so, the next level of observation begins. Think of everything you possibly can. Make a list of things to remember. If the puppies are inside, can you see all of them? Or do they want to show you only one at a time? Why? Where are they being contained and in what condition? Are the puppies clean? Check for evidence of fleas. Ask questions. How long have you been breeding? How did you come to have this litter? Where is the mother or father? Again, ask to see the sire or dam. Ask what they have been feeding the pups. This is another indicator of level of care. I mentioned this in my podcast on getting a new puppy. If the pups are being fed some horrible quality food, this is insight into the care and commitment to healthy dogs this person is not giving. If the answer I was given to this question was one that made my eyebrows raise, I would thank them for their time and leave. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Guard your heart. Puppies can steal hearts so easily with their little faces, but you have to stay strong. You can't save the world here. Your mission is to find a healthy, well-tempered family pet. Stay the course. If your gut is telling you something isn't right, then it probably isn't. Move on. And remember, you need to have discussed the price before you went to see the pups. There should be no surprises, and again, shelter rate price is a reasonable gauge for what you should be paying. Keep in mind, however, that if you got a pup from a shelter, it would already be wormed, have its first shots, be microchipped, possibly fixed, and definitely no fleas. Just saying here. Okay, so another way to get a dog or puppy is through a proper breed rescue organization or other reputable rescue organization. Just about every breed has a rescue. This is where mostly purebreds are given over to the rescue organization for various reasons. The people who volunteer with the organization foster the dog, and the organization works to get the pup or dog adopted by a lovely new owner. Checking with these organizations should be top of your list for finding a dog or pup. People often think these dogs have been given up to the rescue because of behavioral issues, and sometimes they have, but other circumstances do take place that was no fault of the pet. These organizations will be helpful to make sure you are making the right choice, for this is to be a forever home for one of their rescues. Other rescue organizations exist as well that can be very helpful to get you the pup or dog you are looking for. Where I live, there is the Northern Dog Rescue, for example, that brings pups and dogs from northern climes to SPCA centers for adoption. Before going up for adoption, they are medically checked, defleed, and bathed, given their vaccinations, fixed, and microchipped. Check your area for organizations like this, where you can get a wonderful pup or dog that really needs a home. Another way people get their pets is by being the person who will take a dog or cat or small animal, for that matter, that has to be rehomed. There are many reasons why someone needs to rehome their pet, and this could be a great opportunity to get a pet that has all its medical up to date, trained, and ready to be part of your family. Usually there's no money involved when rehoming. This person is in need of a good home for their pet, and you could fit that bill. So being asked to pay for the dog or cat or small animal is not a rehoming, and therefore a red flag. And again, always check your local Humane Society and other Humane Societies near you. There are so many amazing pets at shelters. I'll tell you a quick story here about a little beagle that was at my local SPCA. So this little beagle ended up in the shelter for doing what beagles do. He liked to howl, and he was nose-driven, so he was a handful keeping in the yard or walking. Now, we know beagles are very cute, so he got adopted. He was returned for doing what beagles do. This happened 6 times. Now, I know what you are thinking as I did. Why didn't the shelter adoption people vet these prospective new owners better to avoid this? Well, that's a whole other story. But in the meantime, our little beagle is back at the shelter. Now, there was a man that had beagles in the past that was monitoring the website for this shelter looking for a beagle. He saw this one go up on the site, and he called to inquire, and he was told that the one on the site just went out the door adopted. He was disappointed, but the next day he went back online, and lo and behold, the beagle is back on the site. This time, he bolted straight over to the shelter to inquire. Sure enough, it was the same dog, and he was promptly returned first thing that morning with the explanation that they had made a mistake. This wasn't the dog for them. Well, it's amazing how things often work out, because this man met this little guy and immediately paid his adoption fee. I met him when he was picking up some special treats and toys. He changed the name of his new companion, and last month they celebrated their 5th anniversary together. He said he couldn't have asked for a better dog. So what can we take away from this story? First, it goes to show that the right pet is out there for you. It just takes patience. Secondly, this man was an experienced beagle owner, so he knew what he was up against with a beagle. But obviously, the 6 other people did not. And again, research, do your homework, be realistic and honest with what you are looking for. If this had been done, this poor little beagle wouldn't have had to go through the anxiety of going to 6 homes and being returned. But as I said, things work out for a reason, and the ending here was what was meant to be. Now let's talk about cats and small animals for a bit. There are purebred cats as there are dogs. You may really want a Siamese or Himalayan. Some of the more recent trends are to get Savannah or Bengal cats. I'm not sure about this choice, but we can leave that for another day. There are registered breeders for these cats as well. And just like finding a breeder for your dog, you would go through the same steps to get a purebred cat. Do your research. Ask questions. Another way most people get cats and kittens is sadly through finding strays. As I mentioned earlier, all of my cats have been strays but one. It just seems to be the nature with cats. Of course, there are quite a few rescue organizations that you can adopt from that will make sure the cats have been fixed, vaccinated, dewormed, and microchipped. Again, your local humane society will also have cats and kittens. One thing to remember is that kittens come in a cycle, so throughout certain months, shelters often do not have kittens. But what a good time to look for a beautiful cat that needs a home. Cats also need rehoming sometimes, and again, this could be an opportunity to make sure a loving cat doesn't end up in a shelter. Cats and kittens really do have a hard time. I can't tell you how many times I have had people come in who have a horse farm, for example, that have found a box of kittens dumped at the end of their drive. Very sad, very upsetting. Colonies of feral cats are quite prevalent behind industries, in forests, you name it. Feral cats often cannot be taken in as they rarely adapt to being domesticated. However, their kittens have a chance, so many rescue groups will trap the adults, get them fixed, and then put them back to the colony. The kittens, once they are weaned, will go into foster or into the shelter and will easily become domestic companions able to be adopted. As for small animals, rabbits, hamsters, guinea pigs, rats, etc., they are usually found in shelters. Rabbits are the second highest animal surrendered to shelters. There are good breeders of rabbits, guinea pigs, and rats, so they can also be contacted to get a small animal pet. So let's recap here. The ways to acquire a pet range. You can contact reputable, registered breeders. You can offer your home to rehome a pet. You can cautiously go online to a private seller. You can go to a breed rescue group, and you can go to other rescue groups and humane societies. Or some little lost soul finds you. Now, I had a chance to sit down with Karolina White, who is a colleague of mine. She is a very experienced pet owner, and one who I think really demonstrates the variety of ways people acquire pets and how to do it responsibly. Hey, Karolina, welcome to Val Talks Pets.
Hi, Val.
Good to have you on the show today. So the reason I'm talking to you today is because the episode that I'm covering is about how people actually acquire pets. And I know that you are a very experienced pet owner. And you also have quite a menagerie of pets. True?
Yes, that is true.
Okay, well, tell me what pets you have and run it through for us.
So we have 3 dogs. We have a Great Dane, a Border Collie, and a Boston Terrier.
Okay.
Yes. We have a couple cats, horses, donkey, chickens, and goats.
And you had baby goats just recently too,
we
right?
do. Yes,
yeah.
we do.
How old are the baby goats now?
They are 8 weeks old.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have 3 dogs. Okay. So what do you have? You have a Great Dane.
Yes.
And a Border Collie and a
Boston.
Boston. Okay. So which dog did you have first? Which one did you acquire first?
So we acquired the Boston Terrier first.
Okay.
And she came to us because we had another dog that recently passed away, a Polish Tetra sheepdog.
Oh, wow.
And she became his companion.
Okay.
And they were inseparable for quite a long time.
Aw.
Yes.
So how old is that dog?
The Boston Terrier, she's 10 years old.
Okay. What's her name?
Her name is Leia.
Leia. Okay.
Yes.
So you had the Boston, so she was the companion dog to the other one that passed on.
Yes.
So how did she adapt okay to being on her own, or?
The day he passed away, I think it was more of a relief.
Oh.
Because she was his companion and she was everything to him. So when he passed away, it was almost like a rock was taking off her shoulder, that she doesn't have to take care of him and watch him because he was older.
Oh, I see. Aw. So then, what did you get next?
We also have a Great Dane, so he is actually the youngest.
Okay.
He is about 4 or 5 years old.
So did you get him as a puppy?
We did get him as a puppy.
Okay, so then so you made the decision to actually get a Great Dane puppy?
Yes, we
Okay,
did.
you got to tell me about that. How does someone sit there and go, let's get a Great Dane puppy?
Well, the decision came, we researched the breed. That was the number one thing we did. We researched the breed. We came from having bigger dogs. So we were familiar with bigger dogs, the responsibilities that they come with, because they're not easy. And if, for example, my husband had a hard time with him originally because we lived in the city, and if he saw something, he would pull.
Okay.
So, and we knew big dogs, big responsibility.
But you also had already decided that your goal was to not live in the city any longer, though, right?
When we first got him, we were still in the city. We
Yeah.
knew that was a long-term goal,
Yeah,
but we, at that time, lived in the city.
yeah. So you got him as a puppy then?
We did.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
And our kids were a little bit older, so we knew that because of his size, he wouldn't be able to knock the kids over. Because that is also a concern, especially when they're run, because they're quite
Gangly and
and fall into things and bump into things. Their tail goes everywhere.
Yeah.
Hits everything. So we made sure that the kids were older before we got a bigger dog like that.
That's a really smart way to go about it.
Yes.
Yeah. So how did you find someone that had Great Dane puppies that you felt comfortable getting? That's a hard one sometimes, isn't it? Because you got to do a lot of research, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
He did come from a breeder, but it was not a registered breeder. But we did have a lot of questions for the owner. So we make sure that we asked a lot of questions, and we spoke to different breeders and chose the best fit.
Okay. Okay. So what color is it?
He's a Harlequin.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Yes.
wow. What's his name?
Scooby.
Scooby. There you go. So Scooby came along, and how did he get on with Leia?
Leia didn't really care for him.
Oh,
They get along, but they're not best friends.
okay.
They're kind of there in their environments.
Yeah.
But they're not best friends like she was with the other dog.
Yeah.
Because he would come in, and if he was wet, she would lick him. She would sleep on top of him.
Oh.
But they still get along.
Yeah, but they just, that's fine. Yeah,
Yes.
okay, that makes sense. So now you also have a Border Collie.
We do have a Border Collie.
Now that's a big difference because
Yes.
correct me if I'm wrong, because your Great Dane, now that he's 4, they tend to like to sort of relax a lot, don't they?
They do. They have bursts of energy where
Okay.
they love to run, but then they plop down and they love couches.
Oh, yeah, that's why they like their couch potato.
Yes.
Which we should clarify, you did eventually move out to the country, so your
yes.
animals have lots of place to run. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So you decided to get a border collie, which is another high energy type dog.
Yes.
But how did you get your border collie?
So that was actually came by chance. It was quite interesting because once our Polish Tetra passed away, I said to my husband, he meant so much to me that I said to him, I don't want any more dogs. And then I came across somebody who needed to rehome a dog.
Okay.
And actually it was all red flags.
Oh.
Yes. So she was posted as not leash trained.
Oh my.
She's never been in a house.
Oh my God.
So probably not house trained.
Oh my.
She lived in a barn all her life.
Whoa.
So there were a lot of red flags, and I spoke with my husband, went back and forth, and these people were moving from the country to the city, and she couldn't come with them.
Oh no.
So we made the decision to go see her, and we knew that she might have issues, but we also made sure we could accommodate her and give her the proper life.
Good, yeah.
So what's unique with our property is we do have an attached barn, so we knew if she can't live in the house, we have an attached barn, so she could be there.
Right.
If she needs to have a crate in a crate or in a stall, we have those accommodations for her. So we made sure ahead of time that those steps were taken in case she came.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Now, how old is she, or was she when you got her?
She was actually older. She's 10 years old.
Oh, so you decided to take on a senior dog.
Yes.
See, that's a really important thing that you guys did by taking on a senior dog, because there's so many out there that really need homes. Now,
Yes.
Did you find, though, when you brought her home, how did she adapt from the different environment that she was in before?
There was, I would say, the first month she was a little bit stressed and didn't know what was going on because it's a big change for an older dog.
Oh.
But I would say it was a much easier transition than getting a puppy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can see that too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
So after that transition, she fit really well into the family.
Oh.
But as with border collies, they do have their quirks. They do like to chase.
Yep.
They do like to fixate on things. So we knew what the breed entailed when we got her.
Good.
And what worked for us is she's very well trained. So we can tell her, Rosie, leave it, and she'll come back and leave it.
So that's kind of different than what they told you, though.
Yes.
They told you that she'd had, or you anticipated that she'd had no training.
Right.
But so that wasn't the case then, or did you train her?
That wasn't really the case.
Oh.
But I have to give it to the people that they did tell me everything ahead of time and warned me.
Oh, good.
And I've got to thank them for doing that, because there's many situations where you do get a dog and you're not warned of all the issues.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we were prepared to deal with all these issues.
Good for you.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. So she's fit in really well.
Yes.
And how old is she now?
She's 11.
Oh, my goodness. So she is a senior dog.
She is.
And have you found that there's been any, extra veterinarian care that she's needed? Or, has she had any health issues?
She had no health issues.
Aww.
And we had all her health certificates and health records passed on to us. So we knew that she was healthy. She didn't have any prior issues.
Yeah,
she was vaccinated.
Yeah.
Which was a big thing as well, especially bringing another dog home. You don't want to introduce anything.
Yeah, smart.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really good. So now you've got the three of them, and they're all getting along. You acquired them in so many different ways, because you got your puppy that you researched, and then you had your other dog that was the companion dog, and then you found a nice senior dog that you've given a home to. You guys have done everything that we just want so many people to be able to do, and realize this is the way to get wonderful dogs this way.
And there's so many wonderful dogs out there.
Oh, there is.
Yes.
Yeah, there really is. You just got to do a bit of research, but you guys did the best thing about it. I just want to ask you quickly a bit about your cats, though. So did you get your cats kind of like the way a lot of us do, strays?
Yes and no. We have also a big menagerie of cats. So we have 2 barn cats that came to us through a lady that came into the store I work at, and she needed a home for her barn cats.
Okay.
So they came to us, and they're amazing. They now kind of come in to the house sometimes.
Barn house / yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're so mellow and easygoing.
Aww.
Yes. We also have a Persian. Now, he's a little bit of a hard work because he is a purebred. But with purebreds come a lot of genetic diseases.
With the cats, you mean?
With the cats,
okay.
Yes. So he's got some skin issues, some other issues. He's got heart disease.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. So he's a little bit of more hard work, but he's bonded with my daughter so well. He doesn't leave her side.
Oh.
And interestingly enough, there was one instance, because they're so bonded, she actually had really low blood sugar because she's type 1 diabetic. And he ran downstairs, wouldn't leave us alone. So we figured, why is he not with her?
Yeah.
So we went and checked on her, and she did have low blood sugar.
Whoa.
And he would come and let us know if she had low blood sugars.
That's amazing. He's
Yes.
turning himself into her little therapy companion cat.
Yes.
Yeah. I bet you that they probably do know when something like, because they know that they have dogs that can sense that. There's no reason why cats can't either.
Yes.
That's amazing. So what's the name of your Persian cat?
His name is Grumpy.
Grumpy.
Yes.
Oh, but he had a hard start, that's for sure, for you,
He
and you've
did.
got him all back to health and
Yes.
everything. And you have any more cats?
We have one more cat, and she came when we were actually going through the transition of moving from the city to the country. And she was a little baby kitten living on the street.
Oh.
So we managed to capture her and give her a good home. She does live in the barn, and it took her a while to become quite friendly. You can pet her. She loves being petted. You just can't pick her up.
Oh, okay.
That's her one ground rule.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But she loves the barn, and
Aw.
she has a good life now.
What's her name?
Her name is Luna.
Luna.
Yes.
And what color is she?
She's all black.
Oh, I love
Yes.
black cats.
Yes,
Yeah.
long hair and black.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes.
Oh. So you have found that the way you got your animals is all across the board.
It's all across the board.
But it's all working out. And
Yes.
the best thing I think that for our listeners to take away from what you've said is you did research
Yes.
on everything. So even when you were looking for your puppy, or even when you were going to give the senior dog a new home, which was wonderful on your part, you still did a lot of your research.
Yes.
And that's the most invaluable thing, because, as I say, knowing is caring. So I would like to thank you, Karolina, for letting me talk to you today and sharing with us all about all your animals and your experience.
Thank you so much, and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a great chat with Karolina. Well, hopefully you have got quite a bit of information about how to safely acquire a pet. And I think I would be very remiss if I didn't go over some of the scams and pitfalls that can happen when looking for a pet. There are some nasty scams out there that really good intentioned people have fallen for. And that is just the point. These are people with big hearts, trusting individuals that have been preyed upon. Let me start with a scam that began a couple of years ago, subsided, but has recently started up again. Let's see if any of this rings a bell. In this scam, someone has gone online and found an unregistered breeder. They say they have breed X for sale and show photos of the puppies. You communicate with the seller, find out they are not anywhere near where you live, but decide to go through with the sale. You pick a pup, and the process begins to ship the dog to you. Now, let's be clear here. This is not the reputable registered breeders that ship dogs to a vetted home. This is a different scenario. There is no papers involved, or if there is, you are informed they will come later. What happens here is the person purchasing the pup will send money to the seller for the purchase. Then they will send more money for the plane fare. Then money for a transport crate. Often more money is asked for to pay for special permits. What this is for, I have no idea. Anyway, the total really amounts up. Finally, you are given a flight time and you head out to the airport. The flight comes in and you wait, and guess what? No dog. This is when the buyer starts calling the number they have been using to communicate with the seller, and it is no longer in service. There you go. You have just been scammed. First things first here, unless the person you are having a dog shipped to you from is a registered breeder with credentials, do not, quote unquote, order a dog online. Just the process of ordering online tells you this is either a scam, or if you actually did get the dog, more than likely it came from a puppy mill. There may be exceptions, but this would more than likely be the scenario. Another scam is to find online a call out to save a dog's life that is usually residing in the southern part of the United States who is at a kill shelter, meaning that this shelter will euthanize dogs after a certain period of time if they have not been adopted. The dog they put online is going to be euthanized in anywhere from 24 hours to 5 days, and the plea is put out to save its life. I hate to tell you this, but this is a scam as well that is manipulated by puppy mill brokers. Unless you are actually at the shelter, in person, seeing this dog at the shelter, don't fall for this. There are legitimate rescues from many geographical areas that work tirelessly to bring dogs to different areas to be adopted properly. If you are meeting some person in the parking lot of a mall who says they have the dog from the kill shelter for you, you have been scammed. Yes, you have the dog, but you didn't save its life from a kill shelter. The broker manipulated you into buying one of the mill dogs he is trying to move. And at this point, sad as this sounds, all you did here was create an opening for another puppy mill dog to come in and fill. So that brings us to pet stores. Many municipalities and cities have made it illegal to sell dogs in pet stores, and I quite support this. Most often these are, again, puppy mill dogs, and you would be surprised the range of what puppy milling can be. There are breed puppy mills, and there are crossbreed puppy mills, and there are mutt puppy mills. There are certain communities that notoriously puppy mill, and in order to pull off the sales, they use a broker, someone to give a good story about how they happen to have a litter of pups, when in fact, they don't own any of these dogs. They are just getting a piece of the action from the miller to lie to the buyer. These dogs often end up as well in pet stores. And I am absolutely shocked by the prices these stores put on these dogs. I've seen a crossbreed of a Shih Tzu and a Yorkshire Terrier in a little cage being sold for $1,800. That's highway robbery. Are you kidding me? It's a crossbreed. Anyway, another topic. The bottom line here is never buy a dog from a pet store. As they say, don't shop, adopt. In my area, there is a woman who is working diligently to get our town to make it illegal to sell dogs in a pet store. There is only one store that does this, and she, falling for the little face in the cage, found herself with a very sick dog with parvovirus and vet bills far exceeding the already over-the-top price she paid for the dog. Well, as you can see, getting a pet can be a bit of a minefield. If you have your heart set on a specific purebred, then go with a registered breeder and get the proper certificates and registrations. Do yourself and the breed a big favor by supporting the time and effort that reputable breeders put into preserving the integrity of the breed. Be very cautious when purchasing online, and the best bet is to go to a rescue organization or local humane society. And don't forget rehoming. A lovely pet who is confused and just needs some love could be in your home doing everything he can to be a part of your family. Well, that brings me to my pet peeve section. Well, where do I start on this one? I wish there was a way to crack down on scammers and puppy millers. And I wish people would be more conscious of what they are doing. The only reason puppy millers and scammers are out there is because there is a market. Stop keeping these guys in business. People need to be honest with themselves about commitment, budget, and ethics. Animals should not be part of the instant gratification society. I had a phone message last month that said, "Yes, I wonder if you sell ferrets? My daughter wants a ferret." Seriously? Does this sound like anyone who has put thought and research into this type of pet? I don't think so. It sounds like fulfilling a whim to me. And with a ferret? Check out my podcast on small animals to learn about these guys. Giving a rescue a home, be it a dog, a senior dog, a cat, a rabbit, it doesn't matter. Rescuing and adopting is rewarding and very needed. And make sure that if you want a specific breed, you go to a reputable registered breeder. This helps breeds continue to flourish, preserving generations of ethical standards. The abuse of domestic animals will always be an issue and rise when there is a demand, and that demand comes from people who want a certain pet right now. The repercussions and long-term effects are not considered. It really comes down to whether you want to be a responsible pet owner or to hell with whatever is going on behind the scenes as long as you get what you want. Sometimes responsible, loving pet ownership is just a matter of wanting to give that pet your best. So arm yourself with the knowledge needed to do just that. And I will keep saying this, you must do your research, you must do your homework, and you must soul search. Because, as I say, knowing is caring. Thank you for listening to Val Talks Pets. Please remember to follow or subscribe to ensure that you never miss an episode. To really help the show, please stop by iTunes and rate and review each episode that you find interesting and helpful. And don't forget that you can also email me at val@valtalkspets.com with topics you would like me to address or with any questions you may have. Also, check out my website at valtalkspets.com and let me know what you think and what you would like to see. Thanks for caring!